We ran our first whale festival only last year, and we ran it in Brighton, and people might say, well, that's kind of a strange place to run it. Why here? And there are no whales and dolphins here generally. But in a way that's a really great thing, because we have to try and give people their kind of experience of what it would be like to be around and near whales and dolphins. And by not being able to show them the actual animals, we put a lot of effort into that. So that's really exciting. What we didn't know is that Brighton actually had a very, very special place in the history of whale and dolphin conservation, and it was during the creation of WhaleFest in 2011 that we actually found out. I'm a Brightonian for the last kind of 8 years. I didn't even know, but here, right here, in this very hotel in 1982, 30 years ago this year, 39 governments from around the world met and they made a momentous decision. They made the decision to ban whaling across the world. It was a global moratorium. There was a loophole in the rules that meant that a few countries, a handful, could continue to hunt the whales for scientific purposes. But, you know, I want to be clear here, this was a massively important decision, one of the biggest decisions for whale conservation, and indeed conservation of any group of animals that there has ever been. It dropped the number of whales being hunted from, you know, tens of thousands to just a few hundred. So it was an incredible decision, possibly saved, you know, the animal that we have right behind us here. Who would want to live in a world that doesn't have blue whales? So that was a fantastic thing. And, you know, I wasn't here, unfortunately, to see that incredible event, but we do have people here at WhaleFest that were there 30 years ago. And what's really come across to us talking to those guys over the last few months is not only was it a great decision made by governments, but there are a whole bunch of people out there who were demonstrating right outside the Hilton Hotel. They came from across the world, they represented many different organisations, and they all came together because they believed in this one thing: we have to stop the hunting of whales. Where we are today is that, unfortunately, we haven't saved whales and dolphins, and instead of there being one threat, there are a whole plethora of threats that they face. You know, whaling is still an issue, yeah, sure, but you know, we have pollution now, we have climate change, we have habitat destruction, we have the loss of their prey resources. Overfishing is a big issue throughout the world, and these animals are getting caught in fishing nets at a rate of 1,000 whales and dolphins a day. So that's a really big issue, and what we're saying at WhaleFest this year is we have to come together again. All of these organisations, all of these people have to start to speak with one voice like they did 30 years ago, because we are not getting the message out to the wider public that these animals are really in big trouble, and we should be able to galvanise millions of people because people love whales and dolphins.